Hey, it's Charles. Good morning. I was so excited this morning when I woke up. I wanted to make sure to get this video straight out to you before I even work out. I want to share with you a tool that's really transformed the quality of my life and has transformed the quality of the lives of the thousands of people I've been blessed and honored to counsel and coach. You know, the tool that I found so useful is really a simple one. I found earlier in my life that I would drive off and veer off into a fast food restaurant after a stressful day at school. I would blow up at someone just like that, angrily, acting like someone I wasn't. And I asked myself, why? Why am I acting this way when that's not my true nature? I'm not an angry person. I'm not someone that gets upset. I'm not one that acts impulsively. Yet I was behaving that way time and time again. And what I found was it wasn't what was happening to me. It wasn't the stressful day at school. It wasn't the test. It wasn't the person I exploded on that caused me to do that. It was the interpretation of what had happened that was getting me off of track. With that realization that it wasn't the event, it wasn't what was happening that was determining the outcome, but it was my interpretation of what was happening that determined the outcome, my whole life changed. You know, it's not what happens to you that matters, it's the interpretation you give to what happens that matters. So rather than use food to change how you feel, learn how to use the interpretation, the filter through which things are passing, the life experiences are passing through in your mind to really control how you feel. Because for one person, something that happens, it could be the end of their life. They say life's over, there's no more, you see, I'm destined to be a failure. For that other person, maybe in the same family, they say I'm going to use this as something to propel myself forward. And it's simply a slight adjustment in the interpretation of the experience. So what I want you to use today in your life is this tool. I want you to take something that would usually upset you. Maybe you go home today and your lover, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, the person you want to spend your life with, doesn't treat you exactly the way that you were hoping. Rather than go off and go into the kitchen and start eating things that you know are contrary to your plan or exploding on them and just raging at them, ask yourself, what alternative explanation could I give to this experience that would keep me in power in my life, that would keep me on track? When you ask yourself that simple question, when you take a moment just to pause before reacting to what's happening and say, what's an alternative explanation for this? Rather than say, see, that person's hateful, they're mean, they don't care about me, I give so much to the relationship and I get nothing from it. Rather than go there, maybe stop and ask yourself, what else could be going on in that person's life for them to act that way? Or maybe if you have something that happens in your life that disappoints you, you know, you have a test, or you have something, a performance exam at work, and you don't perform up to what you believe is your max potential. Rather than saying, see, I'm always a failure, I'm a screw up, and driving home and going through McDonald's, maybe you're saying to yourself, that was just a test to get me ready for the next time. Yes, I didn't perform up to what I thought was capable, but now I know what I need to do next time, so I am able to fully perform. When you stop and you give yourself the correct interpretations, and you create a little space between your decision to act and the actual action, when you take that pause in between, you free yourself up from making your life feel like you're an outcome all the time, where the things that are happening to you feel you have no impact on. Remember, it's not what's happening that really matters. It's the interpretation you're giving to what happens that makes a difference. I was 360 pounds. I came from a family of modest means. I could have had all the excuses, all the reasons to end up with a life filled with problems of heart disease, of diabetes, of mental illness. All sorts of things could have plagued my life if I used my experience to give reason not to take charge of my life. When you stop and you say to yourself, what alternative explanation could this experience have? Your whole world changes. So use that tool today. When you find yourself caught up, when you find yourself feeling upset, angry, when you feel stressed, when you find yourself in that place, force yourself to come up with some alternatives rather than the disempowering negative meaning you're so used to giving to experiences. And like anything else, like any muscle, it takes conditioning. So you've got to practice it. You can't expect this to happen overnight. You've got to take time to condition your mindset, to condition that filter, to shift from, you see, there's something wrong with me, I'm a loser, I'm a failure, to maybe this has something to do with someone else. maybe this doesn't have anything to do with me at all. And with a shift in your mindset that way, your whole world will change, as I've said. So God bless you this Tuesday. Have an awesome day. And I'll have another message for you later this week. Take care.